lot of anger on the TL today. I don't know if you guys have caught up on Twitter. It's usually the first thing I do every morning when I wake up. Some people pray. I like to sign on to Twitter and see strangers be filled with blind rage over things that people said out of context. I saw something today, and just since it's about sports, and since you guys have, all of you have been asking, like, Chris, we know you have a degree in liberal studies and it took you 5.5 years to get it. Why don't you weigh in more on current events? So here I am. I read a sentence today that was one of the most egregiously stupid things I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to get into politics of this. This has nothing to do with sexual orientation, whatever. This is the dumbest sentence I may have ever read. There's been a thing in the news the past couple weeks about Lia Thomas, who is a transgender swimmer at Penn, and she competed for 3 years as a man, wasn't great, just won a national championship a week ago. Why that's causing a lot of issues is because she finished 462nd was her best finish as a man, and then last week she won a national championship as a woman. A little bit different, like 462nd, I don't know how many people, versus now where she's actually 9 seconds behind Katie Ledecky, who's like the female Michael Phelps, basically, just with a more difficult name to say. Lia Thomas should be treated in the same way that we look at Jackie Robinson. So before we start there, I don't think Lia Thomas could hit a curveball. I'll just say it. Also, like, we don't give those people enough credit. The fact they were just basically running around in giant old wool potato sacks. Those uniforms were huge back then. It makes no sense he was that fast. I'm not going to get into, like I said, the political part of it or the sexual orientation. I'm just going to tell you a story, okay? When I was growing up in Stone Mountain, Georgia, one of the things my mom loved to do was just rack her brain to figure out what's the best way for Chris to get beaten up and or never make friends in Stone Mountain, Georgia. We should put him in a Speedo and make him go out in public and swim competitively every summer, which I did for like 11 years. When I was done with that emotional scarring, when I moved to Atlanta after college, my mom was helping me and she brought me this box. This is a true story. And it was labeled Christopher's Box of Accomplishments. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. And you're right, yes, there were almost zero accomplishments in there. Just spoiler right off the bat, not a lot, almost none in that box. And when I opened the box, the first thing I saw was the old Speedo, which I still wear around the house, and then a ribbon that was like shit brown in color. And it was for 17th place that I had won. I don't know if you guys are familiar with how many lanes are in a swimming pool, but it is significantly less than 17. Not even close. Which brings me to my point for two things. One, we are not giving anywhere near enough credit to whoever's coming up with these fucking color schemes for ribbons, because after like 5, I'd be done. I mean, like 17? That's incredibly creative. And honestly, you should have just given me like a fucking half-eaten Twizzler at that point. I didn't deserve a ribbon at all. The other point I would make is if you finish 462nd, you don't get to just switch to a different league or competitive group. What usually happens is if you finish 462nd, all athletes, for the most part, have to deal with this someday. The dream's done. The dream's over. If you finish 462nd, you don't switch to go put on a bikini and then jump in the pool. You go get a fucking job at Enterprise Rent-A-Car or fucking H&R Block, because they give you the tools to be your own boss. That's all I know to say. And the Jackie Robinson thing,